Hey guys, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Had a couple of requests to show my camera setups and how I get the different angles that I do. So I thought I'd give you guys a rundown today of what I use and how I set up my cameras on my boat to get the certain angles that I do. So here we go. Okay, first off, for shots like this, what I will do is I have an adhesive mount to the dash, the console of my boat, and I take a gooseneck like this, which I got off of eBay, I believe, and take my Ultra Pro X camera and mount it like that. And it's a pretty simple setup. I've seen a lot of guys with this setup. Let me kind of get over here. Okay, so after I got all that together, I just, pop it in there, and then I can adjust this, the angles that I need, whichever side of the boat I want. And, that gets me pretty much the whole front deck of my boat and anywhere that I need to get. I'll turn it around. You guys have seen me, sit in behind the wheel, and I talk. I just flip it around to where it's pointing right at me, and then I get those shots. And if I need a close to the water shot, or if I'm vlogging or something, kind of give you on the way to here and there, or if I'm walking around, I'll just take this off and I'll use this kind of like a selfie stick, just kind of wherever I'm at, kind of show what I'm doing. Also, if I'm standing up, and a lot of times I'll put my tripod, which is what I am using right now. I'll set it up here on the front deck with me. If I want to fish and talk kind of really close at the same time, then I can do that. If the waves are not too choppy. If it is, I'll just stick it back in the holder, and that way it is secure. Now, some people says they don't trust the strictly adhesive mount, and I've seen some people actually they'll run a screw through here to their console and kind of hold that down. I've never had any issues personally with the adhesive mount, so I mean, so far for me it's been pretty good. Not had any issues with it coming up, or it's been on there pretty straight, and for those shots going down the river, I've run wide open with these things, and they've never come loose or even act like they were going to come loose for me, so that is pretty good for me. Okay, now for the shots like this, let me tell you what I use. I wish I had came up with this idea, and I didn't, or I'd sold it. But no, I got this idea right here from another YouTuber. You guys, he's very popular, Mikey Balls. And I was watching his show one day and how he set up his cameras on his boat. He's got 4 or 5 of them all over his boat. But I like that guy's channel. He's got catches some really nice fish. But I kind of got this from him and modified it just a little bit. But to get those overhead shots, what I did is I went to Lowe's and I bought, this is just a painter's pole. Mr. Long Arm, big, pretty recognizable on the river. I've got a big yellow pole sticking up behind me. So I got that. This is a 6-foot pole that goes up to 12 feet. If I really want to really get up there, I can. But what I did is I took a pedestal mount. This is, just extra one I had laying around. And I took the insert out of it. Took a pair of pliers and got that out. But to take up the slack, there was, this pole is a little bit narrower diameter, is that how you say it, than the inside of this. So to kind of take up that slack, what I did is I wrapped it in duct tape, pretty DIY there, to kind of take up that slack. And it fits in there pretty snug. I got it real snug so it doesn't, if I'm up usually about 6 foot, it doesn't really rock around unless I'm going over some waves. I know I've got a video to where it's just like, you know, and the video's at the end of this where it's just an overhead shot where I'm running. This is the pole that I use. And I've got that shot is just on 6 foot up. But on the other end of it, I took this is the bicycle mount that came with my camera. And as you can see, I just, you know, put that on, cinched it down really good. And I take my camera, you know, and just, you know, attach it. And then I can, I'll put the waterproof housing on these if I'm really running down the river, but if I'm just normally fishing and I want to get those overhead shots, I'll just use the normal frame mounts for these. But if I'm going or it's, you know, nasty weather, I will, you know, I'll protect these things. But as far as the setup of that goes, you know, you can angle this however you need to, and it works out really good for me. So that is 90% or more of the shots from my videos. That's what I'm using, unless it's like, you know, if I'm standing up here and it's a close-up shot, then I'll break out the tripod, and so I can get really good and make sure my audio is really good. I don't use any external microphones. I try to keep it as simple as I can. You know, when I started, all I was using, I had a selfie stick, bungee cord to the my back seat, and a selfie stick and my iPhone, and that's all I used for, you know, a few months until I was able to get some more cameras and get some better cameras. So, you know, don't limit yourself to, okay, I don't have a GoPro, I don't have an Ultra Pro X camera, you know, I can't video. That's not true. You know, the first video I ever done, you know, where I showed my setup, and I'll put that link below, is where I had a bungee cord wrapped around my seat and a selfie stick in the middle of it, and that's what I used for a while. And you know, it worked really good for me. Those iPhone, you know, cameras are pretty good nowadays. So, but as far as the two main setups that I use, that's it. I try to keep it as simple as I can. One thing I do have is I went on eBay, and for both my cameras I went ahead and got a 15-foot long USB cord that plugs into a cigarette lighter behind my console there, and these things are 15-foot long, and I can put my camera anywhere on my boat, and if my batteries start getting low, I can plug them up. I can go all day. I don't have to buy a bunch of extra batteries. I've got one battery in each camera, and you know, if it starts getting low, I'll plug it up and I can go all day. So you know, that's a good tip there. If you know, instead of buying a bunch of batteries, just buy you a cord. I think I got this for, you know, $7-8 for eBay. Make sure you got the right end on them though, because different cameras have different ends on these. So you know, just charge it, go. I've got a my plug charges. It's got 2 USBs, so I can charge both cameras at the same time. So, but hope this helps you out. Like I said, I'll show that overhead video at the end of this. Please like, subscribe, and you know, tell your friends about my channel. I appreciate helping out anybody I can, and we'll see you guys down the road.